Now, just a couple of hours ago, Commissioner Jo Ann Hardesty introduced a massive overhaul to the police oversight system in Portland. City Council will vote to put it on the ballot in November. Now, they haven't voted yet because 92 people signed up to give public testimony. Obviously, this is something on top of a lot of people's minds right now. Here's why Hardesty says this is the right time to pass something like this.
We've had this conversation over and over and over again. What's changed is that there's now the community momentum and the political will to get us to where we are today. So why send it to the ballot? It is absolutely critical that all Portlanders get to weigh in on determining what community safety looks like and what community accountability looks like.
So what does that mean exactly? What would the new accountability system do? Well, it would investigate these 4 kinds of cases dealing with police: excessive use of force, deaths in custody, civil liberty violations, and police actions toward protected class. That means discrimination based on race, gender, or disability. Here's how this would be different than the current system, which is the independent police review through the city auditor's office. It's what we use now. They would have the final say on discipline for officers. Right now, they don't have that. Right now, they can only make disciplinary recommendations to the police bureau. They would be able to directly impact the bureau's policies and directives. The city would have to adequately fund the board to conduct their investigations. They would get expanded investigatory powers, including better access to evidence, and they could compel people to testify in those investigations. And like I said, a lot of people are weighing in on this, including Black community leaders in Portland, who say this proposal has been needed for a long time.
The late Dr. Martin Luther King, as well as the late Congressman John Lewis, would often say, there are those who often tell Black people to wait for freedom, to wait for justice, to wait for equality, to wait for police accountability. But both King and John Lewis will say, we've been waiting too long. We've been waiting 400 years of slavery. We've been waiting 100 years of Jim Crow. We've been waiting since this. Now is the time for freedom, justice, and equality, and police accountability.
Now, here's an example just from today that got brought up about why more accountability is needed. The Oregonian published this story about a Portland police officer who resigned in 2016 after beating a man. That man who got beaten got $500,000 from a jury. The police officer, however, was immediately hired back to do a desk job at the bureau, and now he's being accused of sexually harassing a coworker.
If that story doesn't show you the problem that continues to exist at the Portland Police and the fact that citizens need to be able to investigate, discipline, and potentially terminate bad officers, I don't know whatever will convince you.
Okay, so obviously there are a lot of people who support this, but not everyone, including, as you might imagine, the Portland Police Association, which is the union for Portland police officers. They claim the proposal violates the law in at least 4 ways. They're also worried the oversight board would not be supervised by the city. They say that the proposal was carelessly drafted and neither the police bureau or union got any input. Now, Mayor Wheeler did ask about the legality concern. Hardesty's policy director says that the city attorney's office made sure that the way the proposal was drafted is legal and will stand up to any lawsuit.